Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Before you make an opinion on what I'm going to talk about in this video, I want you to think about the penalties for breaking the law that I'm going to be discussing. 3 to 5 years in federal prison. Keep that in mind. Today we're going to be talking about Section 1201 of the DMCA, and a notice that was sent to the revanced team by Spotify as a result of their patches of the Spotify app that they posted to GitHub. Spotify DMCA notice, seeking legal help. Revanced has received a DMCA takedown notice from Spotify regarding the Unlock Premium patch. Spotify claims that the patch is a derivative of their copyrighted works, and it circumvents Spotify's technological protection measures under Section 1201 of the DMCA, such as encryption and transfer key protocols. Find the full DMCA notice here, and when you click it, they are using rich fucking text files in 2025. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Anyway, in all seriousness, their arguments. They say the patch enables access to copyrighted content by bypassing encryption, transfer key protocols, and premium feature restrictions like skipping. They argue that this is circumvention, even though the patch does not enable downloads or give access to songs that are otherwise unavailable on free Spotify. Our understanding, the patch does not copy Spotify's code. Songs in Spotify pre-premium remain accessible without the patch. Premium-only features mainly affect convenience like skipping. The app requires attestation to prevent it from becoming unusable if modified. However, legal precedents such as 321 Studios versus MGM, MDY versus Blizzard show courts sometimes view bypassing software restrictions as circumvention even when it's about features and not direct access to copyrighted works. Why this matters? If attestation bypass alone constitutes a DMCA Section 1201 violation, then not only premium but also the make app work when patch functionality could be affected. We are seeking legal expertise to better understand our position and risks until our deadline of 1 business day. Now, I do not use Spotify. I will never use Spotify. I will not use the free version. I will not use the revanced version. I will not use the premium version because I like owning what I bought and paid for. And their business model fundamentally is that you do not own anything here. We own the music. If our servers go down and we go out of business as a company, it doesn't matter how many years you've spent paying us, the stuff is gone. It's not my jam. It's not. I have super audio CDs, DVD audio, cassette tapes, CDs, and I have rippers that I use to make copies of them on my computer so that I could play back my legally purchased media the way that I see fit. Just like I talked about in yesterday's video. I do not believe that everything should be free in this world. I paid $80 for SUSE Linux when I was 13 years old just because I wanted to provide value to somebody who provided value to me. They respected me enough to make software that respected my freedom. Here's $80. When I'm 13 years old in 2002, it might as well be $80,000, but they earned it, and I wanted to pay it. I feel the same way about the media and the software that I use. I'm not somebody that wants everything for free. Now, if you don't use Spotify, and you're like me, and you find their business practices atrocious, why should you care? Well, let's take a look at how this application works and see if this type of logic could be used to affect anything else. What Revanced actually does, to my understanding, let's take a look at free Spotify. Got some notes here for myself. The ad injection points. So the Spotify application has hard-coded logic to fetch and play ads every few songs. There's a skip counter. There's a local variable that's going to track and limit you to a certain number of skips per hour. There's a shuffle-only mode. The play button is programmatically replaced with shuffle for albums or playlists if you don't pay for premium. And then there are UI restrictions like the repeat, queue management, and everything else. Now, the way this is going to work, to my knowledge, and again, I'm somebody who barely got past chapter 1 of Dennis Ritchie's C programming language, is they're going to decompile the APK into assembly like bytecode. You're going to then change conditional jumps, return values, skip entire method calls, stuff like that, and then recompile inside the modified APK. So Revanced is not allowing you to download music. You can't download using it. It is not going to allow you access to Spotify Connect. It does not allow you access to exclusive podcasts and content, nor are you going to be able to get access to anything that is lossless. There is no hacking that is occurring throughout this entire process. What you are doing is you are saying, I have 500 lines of code on my computer. You know what? I don't want to run the code between line 490 and 500. Skip to 501. Yesterday when I showed you that stack of Black Mirror Blu-rays, my argument was that we are not looking at Black Mirror as a fictional work as to what could potentially occur into the future. Rather, it's a hyperbolic way of documenting what has already occurred. Season 7, Episode 1. Look at this video that I did on my channel. They already did take away somebody's brain implant after the company went bankrupt. They already did ruin somebody's life and fuck with them in that way. And the world that we live in right now is a world where Spotify can patent the ability to ascertain your emotional state for whatever the hell reasons that they want at any given time by spying on you. And that's a business model. But if the people that make Revanced make a patch that skips running certain lines of code on your computer, that's 3 to 5 years in federal prison. Now, I don't think either of those people should be spending 3 to 5 years in federal prison. But if I had to pick one, it ain't going to be the kids that made Revanced. If they hacked into Spotify's computer systems and allow you to download everything that you wanted without paying, sure, throw the book at them. They didn't hack into anything. Skip running this code. Skip to this line over here. I want to run this code on my computer, but not that code on my computer. Who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do with my computer? And who the fuck do you think you are to tell me that I should be sent to prison for 3 to 5 years because I skipped running some lines of code in your software? That's a little harsh, don't you think? Even if you don't like Spotify. Let's say you don't like the Revanced team. Do you like ad blocks? Do you like uBlock Origin? Do you like the ability to tell your computer, I would like to run this code that I've received from the server, but not this code? If you criminalize this, what's stopping you from criminalizing that? I used to pay back in the day, a long time ago. You can laugh at me. I used to pay $40 a month for Bloomberg News. I enjoyed Matt Levine's column. I would get ads all over this website after giving you $40 a month for a news subscription. You bet your ass I had uBlock Origin turned on the entire time. I get to choose what runs on my computer, not you. But if you think that you do reserve the right to control what I run on my computer, tell me more. I don't think this is the problem of the revanced team. I think it's the problem of Spotify's business model. If you would like to limit how people utilize and interact with your services, then limit it on the server side. I have no problem with that. I believe in paying for software, music, movies, television, and everything that I find valuable. But don't you ever tell me that you think I should be sent to prison for 3 to 5 years because I skipped running some lines of code on my computer. This is my computer. There are many like it, but this one is mine, and you don't get to say what I do with it. At first, I kind of thought of this as, well, this is not really a right to own issue. You don't own any of this music. And they're obvious about that up front. And true. But I do own my computer. And if I want to modify a program on my computer so that I can skip running certain lines of code that I don't feel like running, I should be able to do that. And I should not be sent to prison for 3 to 5 years because I showed you how to do the same. I think that's a little harsh. I think a law like that may need a little bit of reform. There are millions of ways to develop your business model so that you are paid when people utilize your service. The business models that we have now, where you are literally patenting the ability to tell what the fuck I'm thinking and feeling all the time based on the shit that you hear around me that I may not even be aware that you're recording, is weird. It's creepy. It's lame. And I don't want to hear that bullshit of, well, they patented it, but they didn't use it. Yeah, how often do you write up a 11-page plan on how you're going to plot to kill your wife if you don't plan to do it? And if your wife found it sitting there, 11-page plot, exactly how you're going to do it, fucking diagrams on how you're going to murder her, do you think she'd be pacified by you saying, well, honey, I actually didn't plan to do that. I haven't implemented it yet? No, you'd probably say something like this.
Is that supposed to pacify me?
And you'd be right. If your business model is contingent on sending people to prison for 3 to 5 years for basic reverse engineering and math, there might just be a problem with your business model. I don't see anybody pushing back against this, so I'd like to. I might send something like this. Spotify's takedown notice is procedurally deficient under 17 USC Section 512 in GitHub's own DMCA guidance. Identifies only a PR URL, not specific file paths, and offers no factual explanation of the alleged circumvention. The notice doesn't identify any Spotify code, binaries, or decryption keys within our repository because none exists. Our repositories contain only independently authored patch logic. Patches do not decrypt, extract, or distribute Spotify works. They operate only on a lawful obtained copies that users provide themselves. The asserted technological protection measures are at most business model restrictions, such as timers, skip counters, and user interface. Courts have repeatedly held that these rules do not constitute effective access controls. Under Section 1201, see Chamberlain versus Skylink, see Lexmark versus Static Control in 2004. That was an interesting case, the Lexmark one, where they were tricking the printer into believing that it was an original Lexmark ink cartridge so that you could use aftermarket ink. And in the court, they said, nah, screw you, Lexmark, they're allowed to do that. I would ask Spotify, which specific effective technological measure is allegedly at issue, which file in their repo circumvents that measure, and what copyrighted work has been thereby accessed. I believe that the notice is inadequate under Section 512(c)(3). Patches cannot enable premium-only catalog, offline downloads, or Spotify Connect. These require server-side authorization and remain unavailable. These changes target ad presentation, skip counters, shuffle restrictions, and user interface. This is client-side, not encryption or access barriers to copyrighted works. Now, you do have cases such as MDV versus Blizzard and Universal versus Corley. However, these cases are involving bots altering server interactions. That's not present here. Now, I completely understand if the gentlemen at Revanced don't want that smoke. Personally, 3 to 5 years of federal prison, I say I think it would be a lot of fun, but I'm also not the other one on the receiving end of that notice. Changes things when you realize that pushing back against something can get you landed in jail. I respect that. If you're interested in help with legal counsel, do reach out. I have a new nonprofit. Its name is Fulu Foundation. And what we're trying to do at Fulu Foundation are push back against what we believe to be abuses of this law. So here's what I'm going to ask of all of you in the audience. I already played lawyer. That was fun, but I have enough of that last time. Tag, you're it. If you're an IP lawyer interested in taking on something like this, explain to me why you think you'd be good at it. I'm open to paying you, whether you're a law clinic at a law school or you're a firm that takes on these type of IP cases. If you're interested in this and you have knowledge of the DMCA and you feel the same way that I do about what they're trying to do here, the same way about digital locks, contact me. My email's down below. And if you're a member of the Revanced team, contact me. My email's down below. I'm open to funding some legal defense here. And I'm open to you sending a slightly sharper worded response to what they sent you than what you might have had in mind. I believe in paying for my content, my software, my music, my movies, my television, everything. But don't you ever try to threaten me with federal prison time because I skipped running some lines of code on my computer. You know the type of people that like this law, that testify in Congress in favor of it? This guy.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is, in fact, the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.
Now, I don't speak for my nonprofit. I only speak for myself personally when I say this, but fuck that guy. That's some bullshit. And if you don't care right now because it don't affect you, oh, it will someday. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I hope to hear from you. Bye now.